Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star original continent based on novel. So let's start. Tien Chen, who was regretting and in fear after seeing Luo Feng take out the strongest flame god crystal, was relieved to discover him fall into an exit, leaving the space altogether. I survived. He gushed. My luck is not bad. I managed to work with Kai Mang before to control an emperor limit. I thought that was lucky enough, and now even as Yang took out the strongest flame god crystal at the last moment, right before my death, who would have expected an exit to appear right there and suck him in, allowing me to live on? Luck. Tien Chen was celebrating within, after which he thought, is this where my era begins? Even though his plan against Luo Feng failed, allowing Luo Feng to know his true colors, he wasn't worried or regretful. After all, compared to keeping his life, what was having one more enemy to him? I have 2 emperor limit slaves, and Kai Mang who is close to my level of strength. Also amidst this mad war, I can use this strength to get more wealth, huge wealth to raise my strength even further. With such strength, would I still fear a Blade River Emperor? Since I failed this plan, there are 3 more emperor limits on the demon side, and I have Kai Mang and Heavy Arrow to deal with. He immediately made a decision. I'll first let the demon side deal with Chu Wu and Heavy Arrow, then I'll secretly use them to get rid of the demon side emperor limits not under my control. This was his ideal plan. However, even if he just killed the 3 emperor limits, his earnings would already be shocking. If he could soul control another, then that would be his lucky day. Master. Heavy Arrow rushed over. The exit Luo Feng escaped through crumbled. Master. Heavy Arrow called out within. However, it wasn't as crazy as before, at least his master wasn't in danger. Luo Feng was wrapped in that mysterious energy, unable to resist as he went through the exit. The calling resounding in his mind. Child, come. After entering the exit, he didn't appear in another forbidden space, rather, he flew along a colorful pathway. A beautiful pathway. Luo Feng was wrapped around and was flying continuously. The space around him warped and he could see huge sealed stars around enormous pillars. There were many treasures with powerful energies, only Luo Feng couldn't visibly see them clearly. Heavy Arrow, Heavy Arrow. Luo Feng called out mentally to Heavy Arrow. The soul slave and his master had a binding via their souls. As long as the distance between them wasn't absurd, they could communicate via their souls. Since they were still both within Star Tower, no matter how far they were within, with their soul strength, they could easily communicate. Master, are you okay? Heavy Arrow asked. I'm fine. Remember, Tien Chen is evil. He tried to kill me earlier and I almost died, and I suspect that the demon side's Kai Mang has a deal with him. Anyway, tell this to Chu Wu and flee as fast as possible. Mix in with the other humans and bear with it. First leave the space and Star Tower, and wait for me to return. Yes, Master. Luo Feng relaxed a little. It wasn't that he didn't want revenge. But, he had tried to save Tien Chen, but was actually used and almost killed. No matter who it was, they would definitely want to take revenge, however Tien Chen was after all still a human. With the threat of the army system, Luo Feng didn't dare go against an ally. Killing an ally meant death. It would result in large amounts of the human camp combining their strengths to assassinate him. Even his teacher, the Primal Chaos City leader, wouldn't be able to save him. This was after all the ironclad system set in place by the humans and the countless other races. How could he go against it? I cannot go against the army system. But there are loopholes. Luo Feng thought. Like the army system relies on scanning to observe the battles before making its decisions. And the scanning relies on the scanning devices. These devices naturally have limitations, just like when I went to save Tien Chen earlier, and he secretly added more force to the fall, the devices have no way to measure that. Even so, that Tien Chen. I treated you as a brother and you tried to kill me. If I don't kill you, how will I find peace? Luo Feng was raging within. The army system is a disciplinary authority on the soldiers. When I choose to retire later on, I won't be a soldier of the human camp anymore. Even though it means the other human warriors can kill me without any repercussions, I can do the same. Tian Chen had been marked for death within Luo Feng's mind. Many thoughts floated within his mind as he was brought around by the mysterious energy, flying through the warped pathways. Rumble. The mysterious energy dispersed. Luo Feng flew out of the pathway and landed on the ground. He turned around like a feather and gently stood up. This is. He looked around. This was a vast mysterious shrine. There were a total of 9, over 10,000 kilometers tall pillars that held it up. In the air above, there were many sealed stars. These countless sealed stars looked almost like a galaxy above the entire shrine. This shrine seemed to float in the center amongst countless sealed stars. That is. He looked over. In the distance sat a silhouette. He had a long snake-like body, and the top half was human. His purple beard drooped down and his eyelids gently hung down too. However, the vast pressure he gave off made anyone about naturally submit. His energy was vast and endless, though not violent, it didn't allow any resistance. Child. The ancient voice resounded from him, come here. It's him, he was the one who brought me here. Luo Feng thought. And what terrifying pressure. This is much stronger than Shahua Knight, and even close to the primal chaos city leaders. Is he a universe master level being? Luo Feng at least understood this one point. When he stood before this being, he was like an ant with no power whatsoever. Since that was so, it was better to just obey. Within the shrine that stood amidst the countless sealed stars, 2 people stood. One was a snake-bodied human while the other was Luo Feng. Luo Feng walked over to him. This great being seems like a human. He thought. But the 4 pinnacle races have yet to control the Star Tower. How can this being actually stay in here and call me over? This beast Snake Man seemed like one of the many races. Like the Ape Man, Wolf Man, Snake Man etc., they were all considered part of humanity. Elder. Luo Feng bowed respectfully. Sit. The powerful ancient being pointed to the ground. Yes. Luo Feng immediately sat beside. Are you filled with suspicion? The great being looked down at him, he smiled. Wondering why the tower calls out to you, and yet you cannot become its master. Wondering why you met such a powerful forbidden guard the moment you came, and even wondering about the falling of the sealed star. Luo Feng was shocked. This being even knew about the Star Tower calling out to him. Yes, I'm filled with questions, please enlighten me. Luo Feng replied respectfully. I've been waiting for you for far too long. The being sighed. Of course, I normally only leave a clone here, only rushing here personally when I knew you were here. I've yet to introduce myself. I'm called Put. I'm the guardian of the Star Tower, and also the one to welcome you here. Luo Feng was stunned. You are not the creator of the tower. You are wondering about who left you the manual. You are wondering on who was the one who created the Star Tower. Put gazed down at him smiling. Ha ha, I am the first servant of the creator of the Star Tower. However, over countless years, I've become a universe master. My master was graceful enough to accept me as his disciple. I am his first disciple. The leader of the Yangshan race is his second disciple. He has many underlings, but only 2 disciples. I was lucky, because I've followed him the longest. Because of my strength and how sentimental he is, hence I had the right to become his disciple. But the Yangshan race and the Earthling race, those are the true core of what teacher poured his soul into. Put looked at Luo Feng. There were 2 other candidates from Earth before that failed, you are the third one. Coming here 8.2 billion years after the second one. If you succeed, you will be like the leader of the Yangshan race, you'll become the leader of the Earthling race, the third disciple of teacher. If you fail, you'll end up like the 2 before you. Only death will await you. Luo Feng was stunned. There were 2 candidates before him. He was the third that came 8.2 billion years later. Leader of the Yangshan race. Leader of the Earthling race. The leader of the Yangshan race and this PUT, just who was their teacher? The creator of the Nameless Manual and Star Tower, specially producing the Yangshan race and Earthling race. Is this the huge Axe Dojo founder's almighty tribe warrior? Many thoughts flashed through his mind. The Yangshan race and the Earthling race. And I'm the third candidate. Luo Feng looked at him. PUT smiled. Earth is simply the name you give to your living planet. During the time frame of the previous two candidates, they called it different things. The first candidate called it the Shanghai world, the second one called it the origin star, and during your era now, you all call it Earth. Luo Feng nodded. As to the two races. Back then, I followed my teacher and explored the vast universe. He spent countless amounts of effort, and chose this particular planet, and began to nurture it, producing a powerful race. This race later became the Yangshan race. PUT smiled. Unlike the servants and others that he chose, this race was one that he specially nurtured. Under his strict selection, the strongest being of that race became his second disciple. This junior of mine submitted to no one. He brought his own race and formed his own Yangshan area, becoming one of the powerful races of the universe. PUT smiled. Even though in total, the power of the Yangshan race was far from humanity itself, they have my junior, and he is a universe master with special treasures from master. He didn't fear the pinnacle beings of humanity, and hence became one of the powers of the universe. Luo Feng's heart skipped a beat, saying, then what about you, Elder PUT? The Yangshan race was originally a part of humanity. PUT seemed like he was human too. Ha ha ha. He sat cross-legged there, his beard drooping down as he laughed loudly, shaking the entire shrine. He looked down at Luo Feng and smiled. Have you heard the name TPU? TPU. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, recalling the name on the 10,000 Soul Control Manual. That manual was written by TPU. PUT, TPU, is it? Luo Feng looked shocked at this powerful being that followed an even more powerful being. I don't have such ambition, and I'm not like my junior with my own special race, who is able to bring that race around and take over territories, becoming a superpower. He sighed. What's more, teacher valued both the Earth and Yangshan race highly. He had prepared special treasures for both. My junior has more such treasures, and is stronger than me. I've been alone all this while, naturally I stayed within humanity. But I do not wish to reveal my strength, since that may implicate my teacher. Hence, I've remained low profile and allowing my clone to stay for long periods here, allowing it to demonstrate only Knight Pinnacle level strength, naming myself TPU. He said. Luo Feng sighed. That great being had two disciples. One of them ruled the Yangshan race, becoming a superpower. The other simply left a clone here, and revealed strength on the level of Tian, Palace leader, and Shiluo duo. Even though teacher created the Yangshan race, he wasn't too satisfied with it. PUT continued softly. Teacher had lamented that he had raised the basic level of talent, but the soul evolution was much harder. Hence he spent even more time and effort to find a way to finally create your Earthling race. A pure soul from birth. Teacher even spent time to specially create a heavenly technique, the 9-volume manual to help your bodies keep evolving, until it reached the level of several rare races in the universe. With a soul that was naturally exceptional along with the 9-volume manual, this was the best combination he came up with. PUT's eyes gleamed. Luo Feng held his breath. That great being was simply too heavenly. To create an exceptional race of humans, he had actually spent so much effort to prepare and created such an unbelievable technique. However, this manual was rejected by the universe laws themselves. PUT shook his head. Even though it was created, the moment teacher passed it on to any Earthling, the universe laws would automatically try and wipe away memories of the manual. Teacher's power was strong, hence the laws couldn't affect him, but it affected anyone he tried to train. Luo Feng was shocked. Memory wipe. But he was able to learn this heavenly technique. Later on, teacher left alone, not knowing where to go. Finally he brought back some special treasures, named the Heavenly Soul Crystals, placing the entire manual within. PUT said. They have unbelievable power, and as long as one was human and from Earth, if they are able to pass the illusions within, they could acquire the techniques from the crystals. Why wouldn't the laws wipe the memories after? Luo Feng asked. Without a doubt, these crystals were the black metal boards. That's the wonder of the Heavenly Soul Crystals. PUT said. Teacher had said before that the universe laws were very fair, without any absolutes, there was always a chance. Using the crystals made it possible for the 9-volume manuals to be passed on. The natural power of the crystals could pass on the technique to you, and not be affected by the universe laws, but they only have one shot at it. Only one shot. Luo Feng was stunned. Yes. PUT nodded, the crystals record within them the 9 volumes. However, its power only allows for it to be passed on once. As long as the warrior who received the technique is alive, it would be unable to pass it on to another. Unless the first one dies. Hence, the Earthling race, including you, has had 3 candidates. The first one fell, and because of its power, only then could the crystal pass it on to the second one. The second one fell, and thus you became the third. The manual, even with the Heavenly Soul Crystals, would never have 2 candidates living simultaneously. Luo Feng was completely speechless. The laws of the vast universe were incredibly harsh. The more special and rare something was, like the power of the 9-volume manual, the harder it was to even create it. It even required a special vessel, and there could only be one who trained in it. Teacher valued the Yangshan race, but he valued the Earthling race even more. The leader of the Yangshan race is my junior. The leader of the Earthling race will become the 3rd disciple. PUT said. And teacher has prepared treasure for both his disciples. Luo Feng frowned, asking, Elder PUT, your teacher, that great being, why did he even create both the Yangshan and the Earthling race? At teacher's level, he's already invincible within the universe. PUT's voice sounded old and tired. He said, you don't need to think too much. As one of the strongest in the universe, he had long been invited to many powers and organizations to be their leader, but he was too lazy to bother. As a leader? Luo Feng asked. The strongest powers of the universe, the Human Alliance, Hong Alliance, the Space Beast Alliance, the Bug Race Alliance, and many others, they are the pinnacle strengths of the universe. There are others like the 9-Domain Alliance and other weaker ones. I'll simply tell you about this one. The 9-Domain Alliance is formed by 100,000 races, of which there are some powerful ones within. In terms of numbers, they far exceed the Human and Bug Alliance. They have over 50 million emperors, over 100,000 knights, and over 10 universe masters. In terms of strength, they are not weaker than any other. PUT said. Hence they invited teacher over to be their alliance head. Do you know why? Luo Feng was still shocked over the power of this alliance. The Hong Alliance only had just over 3 million emperors, tens of thousands of knights, and as for universe masters, he wasn't clear. The universe masters are considered pinnacle beings in the vast universe. Why get teacher to be their head? Why are 100,000 races all willing to submit to him? Even the strongest of warriors would find it extremely hard to kill a universe master. There's no need to submit at all. Why do so? PUT smiled. It's because teacher is able to revive any being universe master and lower. Luo Feng took a deep breath. The Primal Chaos City leader had said before that he could easily withstand the backlash from reviving an emperor. He would be heavily injured from reviving a knight. If he tried to revive the Tian Sha Palace leader, or Shiluo Duo level of warrior, he would fall. And from what he knew, the city leader was already extremely strong amongst the universe masters, and was one of the top 3 beings of humanity. You should know that some powerful knights have strength akin to universe masters. PUT said. To be able to revive them meant that they could risk it all and continuously fight for their race. Even if they fell, they could be revived over and over. This would naturally make the alliance incredibly powerful. The most pinnacle strength in the universe. The 6 pinnacle races, they all have their own strongest warriors who is able to do so. Your human race has the huge axe founder. Put said. And outside the 6 pinnacle races, there are some special life forms like Teacher, the only one in the entire universe with no other similar life forms. Outside the 6 pinnacle races, these special life forms, along with the powerful beings from the trillions of races, created beings like the huge axe founder. Teacher is one of such. Any such warrior leading an alliance would make the alliance truly strong. They needn't even go out and battle, just using their revival abilities would make the enemies fear them. What's more, they had many other special abilities. Put looked at Luo Feng. Once one reaches Teacher's level, conquering the universe has no meaning. If he wanted to, he could easily join any alliance as a leader. However, to him, that's meaningless. He prefers to work alone. Carefree, the 6 pinnacle races had long spent huge amounts of wealth and effort to invite him. But he didn't even bother and never participated in the wars. However, he had other special goals. The Yangshan and Earthling race were the fruits of his labor. Of course, if you succeed, you will become the 3rd disciple. Then your future will be boundless, becoming a universe master and dominating the Earthling race wouldn't be impossible. You could choose to stay within humanity and become one of its upper echelons, or even be like your second senior, breaking away and taking your own territory, becoming your own power. Everything will be your own choice. Of course, the prerequisite is that you do not fall like the 2 before you. If you do, then I'd have to wait for the 4th candidate. Only, that would be another countless years from now. Within the shrine, Put looked down on Luo Feng. Child, you are the most exceptional one from Earth. You've already passed many hidden tests before. There's only one last life or death path you have ahead. If you live, you become the true leader of the Earthlings. You'll have the chance to become a superpower in the universe, even having the possibility of reaching Teacher's level. Reaching Teacher's level. Luo Feng was shocked. That great being was one of the greatest in the vast universe, and only the founder of the huge axe dojo in the Hong Alliance could match him. This was what he said personally. Put emphasized. Of course, it's just a possibility. Anything related to laws or training, techniques and so on, all relies on yourself. Just like my junior, the leader of the Yangshan race, even after training for trillions of years, is still weaker than Teacher. Luo Feng nodded. Actually, the leader of the Yangshan race, who is a power in the universe alone, and is able to make humanity not dare challenge him, was already very powerful. The final life or death path, what is it? Luo Feng asked. Star Tower. Put said softly, the final challenge is, make Star Tower recognize you as its owner. Star Tower to recognize me as the owner. Luo Feng's body shook. The process of making this treasure recognize an owner was a life or death battle. Teacher is extremely proficient in creating treasures. All the strongest beings in the universe are good at different things. While Teacher may not compare to the huge axe founder at certain things, in terms of creating treasures, he's definitely the best. Put exclaimed. The vast universe has many hidden treasures, and even the strongest dare not say they've seen and know everything. This Star Tower was something he created by chance within a special secret region back then. When it was close to completion, it interacted with a special gold light. Hence, it created this current Star Tower, making it different from the initial idea he had envisioned. Teacher has his own treasures and has no need for it. But he realized that it was too hard to let it search for its owner and recognize an owner. Put said. The Star Tower is considered as one of the strongest treasures in the universe, and is even compared to Teacher's treasures. The process for recognizing an owner, however, is extremely harsh. Harsh? Luo Feng frowned. Put looked down at Luo Feng. Yes. The stronger the soul of the candidate, the more terrifying the process would be. A long time ago, Teacher had searched among tens of thousands of warriors, from Sector Lord to Undying, to Knights etc. to try. But all of the warriors that tried had failed and died. This great being was vicious indeed, Luo Feng thought. Casually getting a bunch of warriors to experiment, even knights were like lab rats to him. Through trial and error, Teacher deduced that there was still a chance for sector lords and undyings. But knights and above have no chance at all. The process tests one's soul and willpower. Hence teacher nurtured the earthling race to have swift growths in mental states. Put said, you are now at sector lord, and you have a chance of success. In history, among the two candidates before, one was sector lord and another was undying, and both of them had reached high levels in mental states. However, both of them still failed. I'm sector lord. Luo Feng looked at him. This Put's vision had seen through everything. I can easily see through your soul. The treasure you rely on to camouflage your life energy may fool knights, but you cannot fool a universe master. Put smiled. Luo Feng realized, back then the primal chaos city leader had easily seen through him too, knowing he had other bodies and so on. And this Put was only slightly weaker than the city leader. But he was still a universe master being. I know about your other bodies too. However, the moment the process begins, you'll have no way out. Even if your primal chaos city leader teacher appeared, he couldn't save you. Put emphasized. Even though he's very powerful, and is even considered invincible within the primal universe, however in the actual universe, and in Star Tower itself, he cannot do a thing. The moment the process starts, no one can stop it. The moment you fail, your willpower and soul will completely crumble and you'll die. Put emphasized. Even though your teacher can reverse time and space to revive you, he cannot revive any memory of the 9-volume manual. You cannot be revived along with that manual, it is something the universe doesn't allow. The moment you die, even if you are revived, the 9-volume manual will be gone and the evolution you got from it will be gone. Even if you get the general and king armor again, you'll have no way to use them. In all, you'll lose the right to become the leader of the Earth race, and any ability to ever get it. Luo Feng took a deep breath. If he lost all this, his strength would fall greatly. Rumble, countless sealed stars suddenly shook about the shrine. It's begun. Put turned to the center of the shrine, the process is about to begin. Star Tower is a treasure the leader of the Earth race deserves. Light descended from above the shrine and gathered in the center. Countless lights were shining on one spot, forming a translucent crystal, and it glowed with gold threads within. Luo Feng. Put turned over. The first candidate persevered for 2,600 years before falling. The second one went on to 3,300 years. I hope you can survive. Luo Feng turned to look at the crystal. A chance to change his fate. This entire process was a chance to change his fate. If he failed, even if the primal chaos city leader revived him, he would lose everything in regards to the 9-volume manual. He would only be a genius without his special encounters. He would be much weaker than before and the city leader's respect for him would definitely fall. It would be lucky if he could become a knight, and a knight, in the great being's eyes, were nothing but little ants. If he succeeded, becoming the leader of the Earth race would give him the chance to become a superpower in the vast universe. He would even have the chance to become someone as strong as the great being himself. Success. I have to succeed. Luo Feng roared. Master, master. Heavy Arrow communicated mentally to him. I just fled from the space, even though I warned Chu Wu about Tian Chen. He was surrounded and ultimately killed by the demon camp. Master, where are you? I can feel your location, but I cannot enter. Chu Wu fell. Luo Feng couldn't help but shout out. Tian Chen. I have to kill you. Heavy Arrow, leave Star Tower first, and even the outer region wars. Wait patiently until I contact you via the virtual universe. Luo Feng ordered. He had given him an anonymous virtual universe network device much earlier. Yes, master. Luo Feng, you must be sturdy, since the process is incredibly painful and long. The two candidates have proven in the past that 3,300 years still isn't enough. Put looked at him. Luo Feng nodded. Kill Tian Chen. He first had to pass this trial. If he failed and died, his own underlings will die along with him. Even if he was revived, without the general and king armor, it would be hard to even deal with Qian Chen. I must survive this, Luo Feng thought. Then begin. Put emphasized and gently pointed at Luo Feng. Immediately, a seemingly normal crystal without any special energy or pressure flew at him. As it touched Luo Feng, he didn't even feel it enter his mind. The instant the crystal touched with his core, his main core hidden within his world ring shook violently. Even the Mosha body and golden horned beast's souls shook, just like how if someone controlled his human body's soul, they could completely control his other bodies. There were 3 parts of the soul, but the main core was the center of it. Also, his consciousness could easily switch between the 3. Even if one body was destroyed, it was fine. However, the moment his soul was taken over and he became a slave, the rest of the bodies would be affected as well. As the crystal melded with him, it affected the main core. The moment he failed, the main core would crumble. I don't sense anything. Didn't he say that it was very painful and would last for a long time? Luo Feng sat cross-legged and was curious. Rumble. That unbelievable terrifying pain instantly attacked all 3 bodies and his main core. It felt like a beast was trying to crawl out of his soul. Put sat cross-legged within the shrine, his purple long beard swaying in the wind. Looking at the crossed-legged Luo Feng shivering from the pain, he thought, it's not so easy to become the leader of the Earthling race. Let's hope that this 3rd candidate will make it through. There was once in his life that Luo Feng had to immolate his soul to fight the golden horned beast. That was when he possessed it. That was when his life took a big change. And since then, this was the 2nd time. Everything depended on whether he could survive this. Within the vast energy flows, a being over 90,000 kilometers tall glowed with black light. He sat crossed-legged on a mountain peak. This old being had sparkling translucent horns. His voice boomed, Meng Tuo Master, I've unintentionally butted in on your fight with the humans. However, those 91 sand grains, I want them. Old punk, my race finally managed to suppress that human, and now you want to simply take away one of the 3 treasures. A thunderous voice shook the entire energy flow about, resounding at the over 90,000 kilometers tall being. If you don't hand it over, I'll help the human. The majestic old being didn't seem disturbed at all. Suddenly, his expression changed slightly as he turned towards the vast space, almost like he could see through any distance, straight at the Star Tower in the 7th battlefield. The 3rd candidate has begun. The majestic being's eyes lit up with anticipation. Let's hope that the little punk will succeed. Old punk, you sure are vicious. Don't let me meet you. In the distance, the great being raged, causing lightning to strike throughout the energies. After which, 91 resplendent beams of light shot over towards the old being. Meng Tuo Master, Primal Chaos City Leader, I'll take my leave. The old being laughed. Sitting on the mountain peak, he instantly became a beam of light. Even the mountain peak vanished from the energies about. This video will end here.